Oh, you guys are going to love this today because I'm bringing to you some of the things that I learned from the Content Entrepreneur Expo that I was just at. Such an incredible event put on by Tilt Publishing, Lulu Press, and the speakers that were there were just brilliant. Some of the most successful marketing entrepreneurs that you most likely follow online, including Michael Stelzner. I love mentioning him because I have been following him for at least over a decade. He is the founder of Social Media Examiner, as well as Social Media World Convention, I think is the name of it. I might have gotten that wrong. But anyways, lots of amazing and brilliant experts. I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to also speak on stage inside of a breakout room. And I was talking about all of the amazing and goodness that comes out of your business when you combine the power of organic content, meaning, content that you're just posting out there, plus adding paid ads to that organic content. Just a great experience to share all of that with those that came into my room. If you can ever get in close proximity by going to these types of conferences, I highly suggest you invest in yourself and do so. This was in Cleveland, Ohio, but look out for them because they are just a really great way to connect with experts that have already done where you want to be, right? And what I loved about this one in specific is that it was not as large as far as participant wise, like a lot of other conferences, but that gave me specifically and anyone that was there an opportunity to have more of like a one-on-one conversation with some of those speakers. So it was really easy to literally grab someone once they came off of stage and ask them questions that you didn't get to answer them during Q&A. So amazing, super fun. And one of the things that was a constant talked about there was video marketing. Okay, so I want to share with you today what I call power value marketing. And this is really a conversion strategy type of video marketing. This is not reels. This is not dancing on video. This is not fun transitions. This is not faceless reels. Okay, this is you actually showing up on video. So here's the thing. This was like a constant in a lot of this talks that I watched at CEX Live. And the constant was now more than ever, it is imperative. It's not that should I use video? It is a you must use video if you want to stand out and you want to convert your audience into actual paying customers and clients. Okay. And with so much AI out there, so much information out there, this is really the only way that you can stand out. Aside from personally reaching out to people as a human being through DMs. Okay. I'm not talking about like through an AI bot. Through DMs as yourself, right? So I want to share with you today the strategy that I've been using in my own business for over a decade. We teach this, we get hired to do this for a lot of high profile experts behind the scenes. And I'm going to walk you through more of a high level overview of how this works. Okay. So here's what I first want to get real about. All right. Organic content, which is when you're just posting content on whatever platform, it has its limits. Okay. For some platforms, it'll last in your audience's newsfeed and those that you're connected to, it'll last in their newsfeed for 20 minutes. Other platforms, it's 2 hours. Some like YouTube, it's for days. But the thing to know is that it has its limits, especially on social media platforms. So here's the truth. Views, which you can get lots of views using reels and stories and carousels, right? Solid views. Here's the thing. Views do not pay the bills. Clients pay the bills. And if you have hit a ceiling where your videos are being seen, but they're not converting, you're not alone. All right. But here's the thing. Platforms are designed to keep people on the platform. Organic content is rewarded when it entertains, right? But it gets punished when you send people off the platform. So although this part doesn't have anything to do with video strategy, which I'm going to talk about in a second, although somewhat it does. If you are putting links in the caption of your post where you are sending people off of the platform, I'm telling you right now, you are going to be doing yourself a disservice because when you're sending people off of a social media platform, that social media platform is going to slow down the reach of your post. So meaning it's going to not send your post to as many people as you would like because it's going to punish you because you're sending people off, right? So the idea here is that we want the organic content to be rewarded, right? And the way that you can use your organic content to reward you is by long form video. and not just any long form video, but a conversion focused video strategy. And the fastest and the easiest way to do that is by doing what I'm doing right now, by going live. Okay. And no, this isn't about cranking out more reels. It's about creating this one type of video that builds authority and it moves people into action. So I want to share with you, this is more like a 3-part strategy to using an authority conversion video framework. Okay. A little background on this. I started doing live videos back in about 2012 or so. I've really refined my video strategy for about 8 years now. And because of that, it's one of the main things that we do as an agency, as a done for you agency, that we get hired to do because of the success that I've had with this personally. So what I'm sharing with you is what I do personally. It is how I have built the online side of my business, because I also have an in-person side, right? But the online side of my business, this is how I have built my business, and it's become a multiple 6-figure annual business. It's been through live video. So I've done about 1,500 live videos in my career so far. And that's just me being honestly conservative because I lost track. I had to stop counting, but I know what I'm talking about. Here's what happens with live video. Live video, it's raw, it's authentic. That is what people want now. When I went to this conference over earlier this week, there are podcasters that are using YouTube to, create like a video podcast, but also YouTubers that were there that were talking about the importance of live video and just video in general. So you're not behind the ball, because I will tell you that most entrepreneurs are still not doing video or using video the way that they should. This is the time to get into it. All right. So first part to this is these, I want you to think of more as like educational videos. What I'm going to be talking about is not really going to be something that you're going to be doing over 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or 90 seconds. Okay. These are going to be about 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes long. Now, what I do inside of this group, I would consider it an educational video, but I've been doing this for a really long time. So you do not have to structure it like this inside of a group. In fact, I would highly recommend that when you start doing these, you start on your personal profile on Facebook, or if you have more activity over on LinkedIn, you do it there, or on Instagram. You want to go to the profile where you have more activity, more engagement. Okay. But I want you to think of these as a bridge between your organic content, which is free content that you're putting out there to get people to know, like, and trust you, and sales. Okay. An educational video ad in a sense, or what I call my authority conversion video. Okay. So this is designed to do 3 things. Number 1, to stop the scroll, like literally stop the scroll. Okay. Number 2, to build trust super fast. You build trust fast because you're educating, you're positioning yourself, and people are getting to know you. They hear your voice, your mannerisms, all the things, right? Your personality. And then the last thing that they're supposed to do is give people direct action as to what to do next. Okay. So unlike organic, these videos are going to directly invite people to take the next action. All right. Unlike entertainment only reels, right? These videos are meant to position you as the expert that people want to hire or buy from. And yes, you do use these videos organically, but for those of you that are in a place where you may want to start thinking about running paid traffic, these are great for running ads too as well. Okay. So it kind of like kills 2 birds with 1 stone. All right. That's the first thing to know, is that these videos are meant to stop the scroll, build trust quickly, and direct people to the next step to take action. Okay. So here's how this framework works. The first thing is you need to have a hook. You got to hook people in within the first 10 to 20 seconds. And that does not start by introducing yourself. But anyways, so you first want to start with a hook. That's the very first. And I'm saying like 10 to 20 seconds, but really it's like the first like sentence that comes out of your mouth is the hook, right? Types of hooks are like what if questions. What if you could stop posting daily and still get high ticket clients? Or pattern interrupting, like showing something unexpected, right? So maybe it's like I pop up. It could be something visual, like I pop up under my desk. Maybe it's I move my camera around. Maybe it's I'm tearing up paper, drinking water, putting on lip gloss. Those are other ways to pattern interrupt. And by the way, you can use these strategies for reels also, but I'm going to get into the meat to the live video strategy. And then you want to agitate the problem, right? So if my hook is, what if you could stop posting daily and still land high ticket clients? To agitate that problem, because the problem is that they're having trouble getting high ticket clients and they feel like they're posting constantly, right? That's the problem. So I want to agitate it by saying, are you tired of posting daily and getting engagement, but no leads and clients? Let's fix that. Okay. So you start with a hook, which is like the first 10 to 20 seconds, but really it's like the first sentence. You can pattern interrupt as a hook, and you can agitate the problem as a hook. Those are all 3 different types of hooks. All right. The second part to this, it's the meat of your video. Okay. So So this is where you want to give some genuine insight that reframes how your audience sees their problem. Okay. I do like to stick to 3 different insights or tips or strategies. And for some reason, there's this like magical number around the number 3. I don't know why, but it works really well. I love to talk, so sometimes I do more. But if I were to do these, for example, on my personal profile or like outside of this group or on my business page, and typically I will do it on those profiles simultaneously. So I do use a third-party app called Restream. When I do them out there, they're typically about 10 to 15 minutes long. Okay. Just so you know. And so I will keep it more concise. But once you get through the hook, then you want to get to the meat of your video. Now I do a little intro right before the meat of my video. That's where I'll say, if you're new to my space, if you're new to, Facebook, if you're new to me over on LinkedIn, welcome. My name's Gina Tassinelli. And then I'll go into who I am, who I serve, and how I serve them. But I keep it into like a 1 to 2 sentences. That is it. Okay. And that's kind of like your value positioning statement. All right. Then once we get into the meat of the video, that's where you're going to get into those insights. So share, like your job here is truly to share 3, maybe 5 tips or strategies or a powerful concept. And then, 3 supporting strategies to that concept. You want them to make them think like, wow, I never thought of it that way, or teach them enough so that they're getting some clarity and curiosity so that when you get to the call to action, they're going to want to step into that action, right? And your call to action, which is going to be the third part to this, is going to move. It's got to weave in. It's got to make sense with what you're talking about in the meat of your video, right? That's part 3. Part 3 is the CTA, the call to action. Here's where your viewer is going to go from a viewer just watching this and engaging, maybe commenting, to an actual lead, right? So it could be a direct invitation, like click the link below to grab the free training, say the word guide. I use this a lot. Say the word guide if you want the full guide to today's training. For those of you that want to jump into the workshop, say the word workshop to get the direct link to the workshop. You could add a little bit of urgency, like a personal push, maybe spots are limited. So that's step 3. Really quick recap to this. This is the 3-part authority conversion video framework. The first part is the hook. And there's 3 different types of hooks that you could do. It could be like a what if question. It could be to pattern interrupt where you're doing something right when you start the video, maybe drinking water, putting on lip gloss, whatever you want. It could be agitating the problem by saying, are you tired of blank? Okay. Second part of the framework is the meat of the framework of the video, which is to educate. This is where you give the ahas. Like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of that, right? So here's where you want to give a powerful concept and then supportive strategies or insights or tips for that one concept. And then step 3 is the call to action, your CTA. This is where we want to move them from a viewer to an actual lead by directly inviting them to the next step. All right. So something else I want to mention about the live video piece and putting this together, because this seems to be a blocker for a lot of people as to why they don't go live on video, because they're scared. What if I fumble over my words? What if I don't know what to say? What if I forget what to say? So for those of you that have never grabbed my Impact Video Creator GPT, this is where AI can help you. But I don't want you to just use AI to help you write scripts, because you don't want to lose that human connection. Okay. Now, the really cool thing about my Video Creator GPT is that it actually asks you so many questions to get to know you that it will give more of that human element to the way that it writes out scripts for you. So if you don't have that, say the word video so I can get that to you. Okay. So use AI to help is basically my point from this. Just, you want to make sure not to lose that human connection with AI. And if you use my GPT, unless you're giving it like really bland answers, you got to be thorough. You got to be detailed. It's actually pretty in line and it'll sound very close to you. All right. You may just have to make some tweaks. Okay. Why does this matter right now? And why am I talking so much about video lately? Consumers are skeptical more than ever. I mean, we have been in an era of distrust, right? So like I said earlier, we are bombarded with AI content. There's a lot of trend-based fluff out there. And there's a lot of coaches, consultants that are posting endless reels with no substance, right? So this works because it creates trust a lot faster. It positions you as a solution. And still, there's a lot of you, even some of my clients that are still not showing up on live video. I am telling you, every time you put this off, you are taking longer to get to where you want to be. Did you know that what you do today, actually, you see the success from it in about 90 days? So the more that you put this off, the longer it's going to take for you to see success from all the effort that you're putting in, right? The more you do nothing, the more that's going to continue. Okay. So you want to start now to position you as the solution. I don't care what it is that you sell, even if you sell a physical product that another company owns and that you represent it. So if you're in network marketing, you're in direct sales, there is still no reason why you should not be going live and educating people on the transformations, the benefits, not the product. Nobody gives a crap about your product. They want to know, how are you going to help me? And how is this going to help me? Okay. Those are educational videos. That's what people want to know. Okay. And the last thing is, it makes your marketing 10 times more efficient, because one authority power value video can be repurposed into a reel, a carousel, a story, an email, a blog post, a LinkedIn article, and like multiple versions of all of those. So you don't have to recreate content from scratch. If your content is getting likes, or maybe it's not getting likes, but it's not getting clients, you don't need more volume. You need the right format. And I want to teach it to you. I want to coach you through it. I want to help you execute it. And I will see you guys next time. And until then, remember, stay social, show up. Bye.